with lots of flowers.
The big prize of our hunt, the Galapagos tomato. Finding these endemic tomato plants here on the islands can be hard. There are not many and they grow in difficult places. But exactly for that reason, they are so valuable. So we have to keep looking for them. Let me explain.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a plant scientist and I'm passionate about the relationship between people and plants. In the middle you can find agriculture. One of the most iconic and tastiest plants in agriculture, I think, is tomato. And I'm so excited to be here on the Galapagos Islands, where there's 2 endemic species of tomato that you can find here in nature on the island.
These 2 species are closely related to our modern tomato.
In the Galapagos Islands we've got Solanum galapagense, which is the one I named, Solanum cheesemanii. These both have yellow to orange fruit. Galapagense is very hairy and cheesemanii is a little bit smoother.
When Darwin was on the Galapagos 189 years ago, he documented both species in his herbarium. They have adapted to the island's rough environment and can withstand low humidity and high salt levels. It is unbelievable how they can grow right on the bare lava rocks.
There's a lot of reasons to save endemic species just because they're endemic. They're found nowhere else. If they go extinct, then they're extinct everywhere.
So from a nature conservation perspective, there is a need to safeguard them. But also from a human perspective, they deserve serious protection, because they may be crucial in strengthening our modern tomato in the future. Tomato production worldwide faces increasing threats. With upcoming and worsening crises like climate change and salinization of agricultural areas worldwide, the farm tomato needs to step up its game and get ready for the future. How? It could learn a lesson from its wild counterparts on the archipelago. The Galapagos tomatoes are very resilient. They grow in extremely harsh conditions where little other plants can grow.
So you find them really on bare rocks, on lava fields where you don't see other plants, except for other endemic species like Scalecia, for instance. You see them like the closest neighbor, but everything else is like the surface of the moon. The tomatoes are very, very small, little seeds inside, so the plant tells us how difficult it is and how on the edge it is. No? If it's a little bit harsher, it's gone.
Not many other plants are this resilient, and surely not the tomatoes that you find in the shops.
Everywhere in the world we started crossing with our own hands wild plants that had characteristics that we liked. And in these thousands of years we have a tomato that now is a big, red, very juicy, very sugary tomato that we all love, no? And maybe less in this case, the focus was maybe not on how well it can defend itself against attackers or against a disease, for instance.
But how come the Galapagos tomatoes are this resilient? They may be getting help from invisibly small helpers, they're microbes. Microbes live in the soil around the roots and on the leaves and even inside the plant. Some of these microscopic organisms, such as bacteria and fungi, exchange favors with their host. They can, for example, provide their befriended plant with nutrients that it cannot obtain or produce itself.
We think that actually the fact that they can survive and they just make it, we think there must almost be a microbial component.
The survival of the Galapagos tomato could very well be a joint effort. So how can we use these wild tomatoes' special powers to help its domesticated cousins? Through plant breeding.
Breeding is a process in which humans continuously, over multiple generations, select plants that they like most. By doing this, every generation of plant will look a little bit more like the ideal what the human has in mind. It's a kind of fast-forward process of survival of the fittest. The fittest not being the fittest in nature, but the ones most fit to how the humans like them.
The Galapagos tomatoes have already been used in plant breeding in the past.
We are here in Academy Bay, and there is one form of tomato that's growing in this one bay that has been used for cultivated tomatoes. It has this special feature where the stalk, which attaches the fruit to the plant, lacks this little elbow. This means that when you pull the fruit off, it actually breaks away without any of the greenery still on the fruit. And this characteristic is called jointless. This has actually been bred into the domestic tomato, so we'll all have eaten Galapagos tomato.
Unfortunately, we were not able to find any individuals, and this type may not even exist anymore. It is all the more important to ensure that the remaining genetic richness is protected. Join me in the next video to find out what is being done to secure the future access to the resilience of the Galapagos tomatoes.